So guys, these are going to be the 10 add-ons that, if you don't have them installed currently, you are basically suffering for absolutely no reason. And we'll also be covering a few god-saving, really unappreciated weak auras that you definitely need to install right away. Now, firstly guys, you're going to want to get Codex Lite. Now, this is an alternative questing add-on, which is infinitely better than Questy. Firstly, it's way more lightweight, so it lags a lot less than Questy, and it shows much more precise spawn locations on your map. I've been using Codex Lite ever since the Nastari's days in 2016. It used to be called PF Quest. Trust me guys, it is so much better for vanilla questing. One very irritating thing in vanilla World of Warcraft is finding certain NPCs, whether it's an ammo vendor, a food vendor, professions, class trainers, weapon masters, you name it. Well, with the add-on Handy Notes NPCs, you can just add little icons to the minimap, and this will show you where all of the useful NPCs are in the game. You'd be surprised where there's certain secret hidden vendors out in the open world that are not near any major towns that you can quickly nip to vendor your junk. Now, I've all been there, whether you've been raiding or doing some insane world PvP in vanilla and the game lags like hell. But what if you could play the game without the lag to get a physical edge over other players? Well, that's where today's sponsor comes in, Exit Lag. Exit Lag is a game-changing optimization tool that keeps your connection stable and your gameplay smooth. It uses cutting-edge tech like AI Route Optimizer, which finds the best routes for your data in real time, and a dynamic stabilizer sending your data through multiple paths to guarantee fail-proof delivery. Getting started is easy, just create an account, download and install Exit Lag, and pick your game. Within minutes, you'll be playing on the most optimized connection possible. The difference is night and day, whether you're doing world PvP in vanilla or pushing rank in a competitive FPS game. Exit Lag supports over 2,000 games. Plus, for Black November, they're offering a special deal, not only reducing the subscription cost, but also reducing it further when you pick the duo or squad sub options, splitting the cost with your friends or family. And if you want the special offer, you just got to apply the coupon code MetaGoblin and Bob's your uncle. Or just click the link in the description and you're good to go. You also want to get the add-on Hiding Bar, which basically consolidates all of your add-ons into one bar that will simply just come off the minimap. This is so much better than having the minimap as messy as your wife's car. Because we are playing vanilla, when you have a spell on your action bar, that is a lower rank than what you actually have trained because you forgot to go back into spellbook and click and drag it. It basically means that you're very often going to end up in these situations where you are using a low rank spell. Well, the add-on Nova Spell Rank Checker just has a little button on the spellbook. You click it and then it will glow on certain icons that are obviously too low rank so that you can quickly replace them. Now we're going to talk about Weak Auras. Weak Auras basically is an add-on that you just get off Curse, and it has a lot of cool features. You can use it to track buffs, procs, honestly pretty much anything that you can think of, you can make a Weak Aura for it. And what I'd recommend is getting some very useful day-to-day life Weak Auras, like for instance Weak Auras that automatically turn tracking on when you're tracking herbs and mining, or obviously when you're tracking some kind of beast. For the herbalists out there, you probably will also want to get this Weak Aura that toggles ground clutter, because obviously sometimes it's actually quite difficult to find herbs, or click the correct things when you're out questing when your ground clutter is too high. Well, this button that you can put on the minimap can just turn that on and off. You also want Weak Auras that are going to automatically equip, things like the carrot on a stick, mithril spurs, and the riding skill enchant, because obviously that increases your movement speed while on a mount, and then when you demount it will re-equip the gear that you previously had on. Another good reminder to get is for your fishing pole, because very often you do forget to take your fishing pole off. You've also got this great weak aura called Classic Mob Abilities, which tells you a little bit of information on what certain abilities come from certain enemies, like difficult things like, stuns and nets and snares and other forms of CC. Obviously, this is more useful for the hardcore challenge also. And then another really underrated one I like, it's more of a PvP one, but it's also kind of good for when you need to do some kiting. It's called Target Movement Speed. It tracks the movement speed of your target. Now, no matter what, you should be getting Gathermate, okay? Because even if you're not a gatherer, you can also track chests in the game. And obviously sometimes chests yield some decent loot, so you may as well have this add-on installed. You want to also get Gathermate data and press the import button so you can actually start to see stuff on the minimap. And when you want to get a map add-on, you definitely want to get Leatrix maps, particularly because you can really zoom in quite far with this add-on. Remember to select the setting in the options menu that allows you to zoom in just that little bit extra. And another obvious add-on that we have to mention is Liatrix Plus. I've never had this add-on uninstalled since Classic WoW came out, to be honest. In fact, I even had it again in the Nestarius days. It is an add-on which basically makes a lot of the automation come back to the game, because obviously a lot of automation was added later in the game in later expansions, and it just kind of brings all that back. There's also some other enhancements where you can expand the windows of your quest log and your profession menu so you can just see them a little bit better. You can even like put music on whenever you want for some reason. I mean, you can even put a volume slider on your character bar and have Wowhead links on the quest log. There's so many cool things like that. You absolutely have to get this add-on, and make sure you actually take the time to have a little look at all the extra features that I've just mentioned. Guys, if you feel like you're falling behind in Fresh Classic, by far the biggest experience per hour is obtained in Vanilla WoW by simply doing the perfect questing route. If you don't believe me, you can get the add-on for free right now up until level 30, and if you want to get the full guide, use my discount code MetaGoblinFresh and click my link in the description for a little cheeky 15% off. In Vanilla WoW, you have very limited information when it comes to your actual character stats, so what you want to do is get Deja Stats Classic. It's a prettier version of basically a more advanced stat menu, and then essentially you can get the more important and detailed information that you can normally see in your character menu in retail, like a crit chance and everything like that. What's Training is an absolutely essential add-on. It tells you when you can learn new abilities all the way up until level 60, and it'll also show you the cost, so you can also manage and strategize, how much gold you're going to need while leveling up to get all of your essential abilities. And lastly, I'd recommend getting Atlas Quest. Basically, when you go to the Atlas menu, it's going to tell you all the quests that you can get for every single dungeon, and it'll also tell you what pre-quests you have to do and the precise coordinates on where to obtain that quest in the world. And those guys are the absolute essential add-ons that I personally cannot live without when I'm playing Classic WoW. If you want to learn more about how I actually set up my UI, I will have a more detailed video about that coming in the future, but for now you can just check out my Season of Discovery one, because it's probably going to be fairly similar with some minor updates. I'll leave that linked in the description, but anyway, my name is MetaGoblin. In the next video, ciao.